So I've had a few different people ask about our service truck, our toolie as we call it, how it's set up. So I'll make a quick video how we got this rig set up. So this is our GMC Topkick we got. I think we got this thing, Mike, you would know, how long has it been? 5, 6? Has it been 7 years? We've had this truck, and I think we paid $4,000 for it that long ago. We've put a transmission in it. The motor's turned down quite a bit. It's got a cat motor and thing's gutless as ever. But it still goes. Skidder, Paul pushed on it that way. That's why it's a little busted up. I think I hit 2 deer with it and didn't hurt at all. But yeah, it gets pushed and pulled, and horrible things done to this poor tool truck. But this thing has been pretty darn good. Like I said, we put a tranny in it. Other than that, that's about it in all them years. It gets drove every day. We bring it out to the woods every day. It goes to the shop, gets fueled back up, and brought out to the woods, because when you're running that chipper and all this equipment, you never know what's going to go wrong. So you always got to be prepared, because if it, like they say, if it can break, it will break. So this is the setup here. I don't even know where to start. Quite a few different companies are set up like this around us. Being up here in the snow, it's kind of nice to have a box truck where you can get in and out of the weather and work on stuff. This is a Ranger 8. This is our generator welder here. All the welding stuff's here. A bunch of welding stuff up there, your gloves, rod. This is a pretty cool little, check this out. We bought this at Logging Congress. It's going to work great if I ever need it. What I got here are plugs. What these are used for is there's a few different lines on that chipper and on some different stuff around that it's hard to get them to stop leaking once they blow. So it came with an assortment of different size lines, or different size plugs, I'm sorry, to plug your lines. Hey, I was looking for these the other day, good deal. Good thing I got in there. So that's those. But, so back to what we were talking about. This is how it's set up. Your cords and stuff are there. I got all kinds of pry bars down here. This is where we throw them all at. They're 4 or 5 foot long. We got a couple different sledgehammers in there, pipe wrench, some different kind of spoons and stuff, just a bunch of pry bars, of shovels in there. We got a couple binders there, and those are all the big wrenches here. I think we go up to 2 inches on these. Very seldom do we need a 2-incher. I needed one bigger than a 2-incher the other day, so I had to use the pipe wrench. But we got Paulie's got some wedges there, a little tool bag, and then it goes into all the different hydraulic lines. We carry 1/4 inch, a 3/8, 1/2 inch, 3/4, 1 inch is what we carry on the truck. So, and these are a lot of our smaller wrenches here. We keep them up there, easy to get to. A busted up vise. This is to cut the hose with. It actually works really good. The switch don't work, so once you plug it in, it's live, so you got to make sure everything's unplugged when you shut everything off. This is the clean stuff up here. This is the Gates press we use to make all of our hose and our fittings. These right here are all the different sizes for each size hose. There's a different size one for each hose. That's that. So again, if we blow any hose, we can usually make anything up to 1 inch. And that's how that works. So all our fittings are over here. We got all kinds of different fittings. The hard part is like the 535D there has a majority of flat-faced O-ring fittings, and so does that cat there. But that chipper's all JIC, and the old chipper's all pipe. So you have to carry all the different style fittings. And if anybody's around equipment, you know, whoopsie. This is a JIC fitting here. Let's see here. Let's go over here. This is a flat-faced O-ring fitting, and that's a male pipe. So each one's different. So you have to have an assortment of everything. And these go on my bucket. These go on my bucket. So you have a fair amount of those. Them go on the log truck bucket too, and some on the slasher bucket. So you have plenty of those. These flat-faced O-rings here, a lot of them 3/4 inch for this. Bunchers are those. And here you get to all your other pipe stuff. But you got to have all those to do it. Then here's just the toolbox. It's nothing special. It's just set up like any other toolbox. Wrenches, screwdrivers, 1/2 inch, 1/4 and 3/8. So if you don't have this strap on here and you turn this thing, they all come out. And it can get a mess in here real quick. Those are 3/4 inch stuff there. And yeah, that's that. Hydraulic fluid, just those 4 buckets. Antifreeze, torches, empty junk buckets, gas, mixed, regular, motor oil, antifreeze, bar and chain oil, jumpers, and this is a belt for the old chipper. So I don't know what I got here. This is an old belt for the old chipper too. It just kind of holds stuff up here. O-rings, jumper, and then this is our barrel for hydraulic fluid too, in case we need any for that chipper out there. We'll grab some of that, fill that 55-gallon drum up. That seems to work pretty good for us. Trash, used chain. These are used 9s down here. These are partially used, so we'll save all those. Water, used knives. That's a nice little grease gun. Def fluid for Pauly's 535D. Sharp knives, new chain. These are some old parts here. I just took this off the chipper the other day. This is feed wheel chain for the chipper. I'll go up here and show you what that is. They got chain to run the feed wheels on some of them. This is a junk one there. It's wore out, but we always just save it in case we need it in an absolute emergency. That's real nice. What do you do? A little bucket of goodies for the chipper. Knife holders. This is actually a counter knife for the old chipper, the 23. Anvil strips. Actually, there is some right here are two counter knives for this chipper right there. So holders, counter knives, anvil strips. Back to where we started, a few different assortment of stuff there, but that's about it. Some extra chains for chainsaws, and we don't do a whole lot of chainsaw work, just kind of a high stump here or there, or trimming logs. That's about all she wrote for us doing chainsaw. So, oh, back there in the corner, these are our flail rods here that the chain, that's what the chain holds on to in those drums. So that wraps around it like that inside the chipper. And this chipper's got 3 different lengths of rods. They wear out. It takes a while for them to wear out. So you just got to keep an assortment of all three of them. This is a long one for the bottom drum, but that's that. And you got a over 400 gallon fuel tank there. So, and you got some 911 there, brake cleaner, ether. There's another thing of ether there in the back. That's a fuel pump for this thing. I think it's a, what is it, 25 gallon a minute. We got a heavy duty one, and the hose runs all the way back to the back. Me and Adam designed that one day, because we used to have to coil it up there. I hated that. So we did this, and that'll reach out to the back of the Ford at least. It'll reach out a long way. So yeah, that's 25 gallon a minute, just because when you're pumping 300 gallons into a chipper, you're there for a while. So got a decent pump for it. But I think that's about it. Oh, and this charger here goes to 24 volt. That makes a big difference when you're starting this chipper and that those skidders. That 24 volt charger makes a big difference when you're jumping that stuff in the middle of winter and it's minus 30 out. But that's a kind of look at it. Have a look at the tool truck. You got your hose clamps down here, your smaller fittings all the way up to your bigger fittings, nuts and bolts. We don't carry a huge assortment. The ones we usually need, we don't have. Seems to be like all the time, but what do you do? Couple filters. Let's see what we got up here. Yep. Busted light for the chipper. Cobra, anybody? Grease. Trying out a new kind of grease right now. I don't know, I just put some in today. We'll see how it works. This was the old stuff we were using. Somebody was asking me. That stuff's pretty nasty stuff. And by nasty, I mean good. Pretty sticky. So, yeah, there's all kinds of an assortment of stuff up here. These are for my clamps that hold my knives together, because they get wore out every couple months. They actually get all jacked up. So, yep, Husqvarna 2-stroke oil. Something else there. Master links, half links for my chains. There's just all kinds of assortment. All kinds of goodies in here. Plugs for my flail drums. I'll tell you one thing, you never know what you're going to find in here. It could be anything in here. But after you work here a few years, you kind of figure out where stuff's at, and you can find stuff pretty quick. And then you hide stuff like I do every now and then, so people don't mess with it. Then I forget where it's at. That's why I was happy I got into these plugs, because I needed one of them for my air wand the other day, a tip for it. Because this tip right here's got a hole in it, so it blows stuff out back at you instead of away from you. But that's about it. That's our service truck there. Paul's fooling around, but that's our service truck. Hopefully that answered some questions of how we got her set up. He's getting into trouble. Does it have to do with Josh? I almost forgot one thing. Liftgate. We got this put on here. It came with one. It worked great, but this part here was all rusted out. So we had that sitting at the shop for a couple years. And it didn't quite line up as good as the other one. So it just kind of got put to the side. But this spring we had time, so we pulled it in the shop. And got her fixed on there. Welded on there a little bit. I'll tell you what, this thing's really handy when you're working on the side of the chipper, or even the side of the slasher or something, or you got to pull up to a skidder. Because it'll come all the way up to here, and it sticks out about 4 or 5 feet. 4 or 5 feet. And man, it's really handy to have on this stuff around here. So yeah, I forgot the old lift gate. It works perfect too. It works just handier than ever. Got a little handle here for it. But that's the big toolie. Gutless They don't have no power, but it works good. It's been coming out to jobs with us for years now.